10 wrestlers who will leave WWE in 2026. Who will jump ship from the WWE in 2026? From an outsider's perspective, WWE is the highest peak for any wrestler plying their trade outside of their hallowed squared circle, now completely covered in ads for Slim Jims and Daz Ultra. Getting there is only part of the journey. Being successful enough to stay there is something far more difficult. While once upon a time the WWE was the only way for a performer to maximize their potential, there are now many viable options for a wrestler to make themselves a star outside of their walls. With 2026 quickly approaching, the following are the WWE performers who are likely to be looking for greener pastures in 2026. 10. AJ Styles. Starting with the most obvious candidate, AJ Styles has been openly telling everyone that 2026 will be his last year in professional wrestling. Unlike a lot of the wrestlers on this list, there is nothing contentious or bitter about AJ's decision to leave WWE. The Phenomenal One is one of the most universally loved wrestlers for good reasons, and his time in WWE has delivered just as much gold as everywhere else he has blessed with his talents. Perhaps the most interesting question about AJ's final run surrounds whether or not WWE will allow him to visit some of the other federations he has called home over the years. It would be incredible to see him return to NJPW, where his time as leader of the Bullet Club and his glittering collection of matches are still revered by any wrestling fan with eyes. 9. R-Truth. In one of the biggest bombshells of the year so far, R-Truth was let go by WWE in June of this year, only to be swiftly rehired after extreme fan opposition to this shocking decision. It felt progressive at the time for the company to listen to their fans, but something has smelled rotten about Truth's presentation since the company's penny pinchers were put in their place. Appearing back on WWE TV as his far more aggressive Ron Killings character, this change in persona was accepted by fans, but was dropped within weeks of its inception. Since then he has bounced from serious, confrontational character to comic relief multiple times with no consistency or explanation, confusing fans and undoing so much of his good work in recent years. 8. Zoe Stark. Despite solid in-ring work, Zoe Stark's WWE employment seemed to be on borrowed time before she sustained a horrific injury on a May 2025 episode of Monday Night Raw. Tearing her ACL, MCL, and meniscus in one mistimed missile dropkick, Stark needed surgery immediately. She has been off-screen ever since and is not expected to be available for selection again until deep into 2026. Before this unfortunate injury, Stark had seen both members of her ill-fated Pure Fusion Collective stable leave WWE. Sonya Deville has taken a break from wrestling altogether, focusing on real estate, and Shayna Baszler was fired by WWE before being brought back for some producer work. With this in mind, Stark certainly seemed to be one of the most likely candidates to leave the company. 7. Otis. It's hard to not feel sorry for Otis. Rarely being made a main focus on WWE television, it feels as though the bearded superstar has always made the most of the limited TV time he's enjoyed. Charismatic, charming, and lovable, his flirtations with Mandy Rose spoke to everyone who has ever tried their luck with someone entirely out of their league, and when being bullied by the evil Chad Gable in American Alpha, Otis' charisma shone brightly when sticking up for his friends against their tyrannical leader. Looking at the second half of 2025, Otis has been a ghost, bar an appearance at AAA Triplemania XXXI. With no major storylines to speak of, and with his former teammates Akira Tozawa and Maxine Dupree now being regularly joined by Natalia Neidhart, it doesn't feel as though that is going to change anytime soon. 6. Grayson Waller. Aussie superstar Grayson Waller is one of the most natural heels in any company in the world. His finger is on the pulse of what makes wrestling fans tick, and his ability to get under the skin of fans and performers alike is among the most underrated skill sets in WWE. Nevertheless, it's hard not to feel worried for the future of the former WWE Tag Team Champion. Despite teasing it for what seemed like over a year, the proper breakup of A-Town Down Under with Austin Theory never materialized. With both men assuming the natural face and heel dynamic that leads to such an event, the pair eventually quietly disbanded in July due to Theory's legitimate injury situation. 5. Nikita Lyons. If departures from WWE have shown anything in recent years, it's that there are many lucrative opportunities afforded to former talent from the world's largest wrestling company. For someone without a major championship or main roster appearance to her name, Nikita Lyons has an eye-watering social media presence. Despite her understated WWE career, the Lioness of WWE has more Instagram followers than Damian Priest, Jacob Fatu, and LA Knight, and the same amount as both members of the Street Profits combined. 4. Shinsuke Nakamura. It feels as though Shinsuke Nakamura is on this list every year, but the rumor mill is more intense than ever that the King of Strong Style is in the final furlong of his WWE career. Since a relatively unexpected run with the United States Championship between November 2024 and March 2025, the Japanese superstar has been sparsely used, to put it mildly. Nakamura has only been used in multi-man qualifying defeats for King of the Ring and Money in the Bank, and a short stint in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal since March of this year. The chances of this being a coincidence are minimal at best. 3. Apollo Crews. Apollo Crews is another performer who has spent much of 2025 on the injured list, after needing surgery for a torn pectoral muscle suffered in January. How much fans have noticed his absence is up for debate, but it's hard to make a case that his presence has been missed. It is worth noting how beloved Crews was on the independents before signing with WWE. As one of the world's most impressive in-ring performers, his run as Uhaa Nation was one of the most must-see acts during one of the most exciting periods in American independent WWE. 2. Alba Fire. One of the stars of the UK independent scene as Kay Lee Ray, Alba Fire's run in WWE has included plenty of success. She had a long run with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship alongside the long-departed Isla Dawn in 2024, to go alongside her reign as NXT Tag Team Champions with Dawn, winning the NXT Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic with Io Sky, and holding the NXT UK Women's Championship. Alba's current role has seen her adopted as part of Chelsea Green's Secret Her Vice, but in truth she always felt bolted on to the successful Chelsea and Piper Niven double act. 1. Tyler Bate. Given his accolades and how long he's been impressing inside the ring, it's kind of remarkable that Tyler Bate is still just 28 years old. Becoming the first ever NXT UK champion at the age of 19, Bate remains only the second teenager to ever hold WWE Gold. He has also held the NXT Tag Team Championship as part of Mustache Mountain, so he does have a sizable footprint in the WWE history books already. Currently, Bate is, allegedly, one half of Los Americanos, the tag team that has been accompanying El Grande Americano since Chad Gable's injury earlier this year. It's a pretty great spot for him, but the other half of this team looks suspiciously like his UK brethren, Pete Dunne.